Hello, Randy Orr with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, team leader at the Orr Group, bringing you another great seller tip today. My seller tip for today is make sure that when you're a seller with a home currently in escrow, sold during the contingency period whereby the buyer has contingencies to be satisfied prior to the removal of contingency, make sure that before you move any of your furniture or past the point of no return with regards to moving, renting another property or purchasing another home, make sure that the buyer has removed their contingencies in writing. Here's why I'm going to share this tip with you today is I just listed and closed a property whereby the seller was listed with another agent prior, and that agent sold the home, got it into escrow, failed to communicate to the seller or wasn't watching the paperwork close enough, whereby the buyer did not remove their contingencies in writing, and 2 days prior to the close of escrow, the buyer canceled the contract with a right to cancel the contract, receive all of their earnest money back from escrow, and was out of the deal. Now that's bad enough, but making it worse was the seller of the property about a week before the close of escrow, thinking everything was solid and fine. They actually packed a 5,000 square foot home, rented another large home, moved all of their furniture, and left a vacant home ready to close. And that was the property where the buyer canceled and had the right to cancel because the agent was not watching the paperwork and was not communicating to the seller that all contingencies were not removed. All the contingencies were actually left in effect. So it's very important that the listing agent representing the seller be watching that paperwork to make sure that the buyer, after their due diligence period, somewhere between 17 and 21 days for two different sets of contingencies, but certainly about 3 weeks after escrow opens, that buyer should be removing all their contingencies in writing so that both feet are in the deal, so the earnest money deposit is at risk if they cancel. And the situation that I was telling you about, that hadn't happened. So very, very important, make sure that the contingencies for the buyer are removed in writing prior to making any definite plans to move from your property. Randy Orr, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, team leader at the Orr Group, changing lives one home at a time.